The market's just opening up here in the last few minutes after the jobs report dropped last hour that showed 206,000 new jobs, beat the estimates of about 200,000. As I brought up this morning, though, the leader in job creation was the government, which should be concerning, with 70,000 new jobs. Unemployment ticking up to 4.1%. That's the highest it's been since November of 21. Could signal, too, more people are looking for jobs. Let's welcome on and say good morning to Mark Falter, Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group. You hear him, Retirement Income Hour, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9. All right, Mark, the floor is yours. What's your reaction to that jobs report last hour?
Hey, it seems like it's tightening up a little bit, doesn't it? I know it's been going in a kind of a good fashion here for the last several quarters and months, but it seems like it's finally tightening up. I think it's getting a little bit tougher for people to find jobs out there.
So what do you read into that? Is that a good I mean, listen, we all want people to be employed and working and happy, but is there a potentially good side of this as well if things are tightening up a little bit?
You know, it's getting better for the employer. I'll tell you, even we're in the process of hiring about 3 to 5 people right now, and it's actually we're finding the interviews are better. It's easier to find people right now. I think it's been a kind of a little bit of a long time coming. We were really unemployed during COVID, and then we went back and swung the other direction, and now it's finally swinging back a little bit. The economy seems to be slowing down a little bit, even though the markets seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah. So what do you look at this then and say to yourself, okay, what's next? I mean, we're all kind of focused on Jerome Powell and what the Fed might do with these rate cuts. Does today's news expedite the possibility of a rate cut or no?
I don't think it really rushes it in, but I think we could see a rate cut before the end of the year, potentially even two. I don't think it's going to be a drastic rate cut, but we've been kind of waiting for it for a long time. We've been actually going back and doing a lot of upgrades of our clients because of the fixed products they're in, thinking it would actually, I thought a year ago it would end right now, but we're seeing it actually last through the end of the year in that rates are staying high. And I don't think he wants to, you know what, and we talked about this last time I was on the show, really rates are now where they should be. Mm-hmm. We were just so spoiled with the 0% for so long, lasted nearly 20 years. Rates really are about where they should be right now.
So as much as you think there could be 1 or 2 rate cuts, if Mark Falter was in Jerome Powell's seat, you would not be cutting rates?
No, I think I'd leave it alone. I've been saying that for a while.
So why doesn't he listen to you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a great question. I'll tell you what. Really, I was just at a trip, and we had a camping trip. I had an RV, and a guy behind me was a retired pilot. He just retired from FedEx, and he and I were talking. I mean, he just retired in the last year. I said, you know what? It's right now is a great time to be a retired person. It's not a great time to be going out and financing a house right now, but it's a great time for the people who are 65 and over. You know, you can get 5.5% on your money right now. Not take a lot of market risk. And most retirees, with the amount of, if you've saved $1 million or plus, you could probably make it with that and Social Security making 5%. You know, just 2 years ago, you couldn't make 1% 1%.
Ooh, so it's a good point. So what you're saying is your contemporaries are in a good spot and guys like me are screwed.
I wouldn't say screwed, but you know what now?
But here's the thing. I've got these golden handcuffs on me, too, with a 3% mortgage, little kids, grocery prices, the whole thing, right?
Yeah, but you know what now? You talk to people, I'd said this for a long time. You talk to people back in Jimmy Carter's era. They were financing houses at 15 and 16%, how they could do that. And I'll tell you what, I don't know how people are going out and affording a new $500,000, $600,000 house right now. It's at 7 and 8% versus 2%, which is what it was 2 years ago. It's a game-changing scenario. But like I said, for a retired person, they may not want to wish things to change too quick.
My fear on that with the housing market is that it's going to lead to more institutional buyers who then are turning these things into rentals. That's because you're right. I mean, who's affording that $500,000, $600,000 home with the interest rates where they are, with home insurance going up, property taxes going up? I mean, it's going to be a big nut every month.
Mm-hmm. It certainly is. And I often wonder sometimes if Jerome Powell is trying to get us used to where we're at right now and kind of going to leave things alone.
Yeah.
I don't think the government wants to get back to 0% anytime soon because it was a dangerous place to be for so long. the worst scenario is you have to back up from there, and you go into a scenario like Japan is in or has been in.
With negative interest rates?
Yeah, you don't want to do that at all.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Mark Falter, Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, is here. His show, Retirement Income Hour, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9. So this is a very interesting tidbit you shared with me, and I want to let you expand on this. You noted, and we talked about it briefly privately last night, that after last week's debate, the long end of the Treasury curve went up dramatically. Why? What does that mean? And how should the average person on Main Street read into that?
The markets, okay, so I will preface by saying not trying to get political here.
Yeah.
It's impossible right now based on that last debate because, just on our last time I was on the show here, I said it's going to be a tight race. We both agreed to that. It's going to be a tight race, 50-50. Man, it's going to be a dogfight. I don't think so anymore, and I'll tell you why. This last debate was different because it pretty much showed a lot of people, America, that we do have a problem with Joe and that Joe is got some health issues. We were concerned about it, but it kind of showed up in the last one, and I think the markets are reacting because they're concerned of one of two things. Can Joe handle another 4 years health-wise? I'm not talking political-wise, not talking, Democrat or Republican, I'm just talking health-wise. And if he can't, what is Plan B? Because Plan B does not look good. Even no matter who they pick, Hillary, whoever, they've only got 4 to 5 months to do a run-up, and that's not a 4 to 5 month job. So it's making things look concerning there, and it's affecting the markets, and the treasuries and so forth are changing because of it. Yeah.
But why are they? So if the markets are projecting a Donald Trump victory, why would that change the long end of the Treasury curve?
Well, the long end of the Treasury curve, the short end, of course, was changed by Jerome Powell with the raising of the interest rates. But now with the long end changing, it's actually changing the yield curve to where things could potentially look even better yet still. Where the 10-year Treasury jumped from 4.2 to 4.5%. We kind of want that. That's actually a good thing in the fact that you want the long term to look a little better. It's been a inverted yield curve for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So where the long term could actually go up to meet the short term, and we could actually end up with less of an inverted yield curve, meaning that potentially if Trump ends up getting in reelected or elected, should I say, could look like a better time for the markets.
Now, the market's also, I guess, grappling with, especially the bond market, on Trump winning, but also more Republicans in Congress. Would the perception then be, if nothing else, I don't think tax cuts are coming, but at least maybe extending those 2017, 2018 Trump tax cuts, which are set to expire in 25? Would that be the optimism potentially from the markets as well?
It could very well be. Well, I'll tell you what, if they could extend those 2017 tax cuts, that would be a victory for retirees. That would be a very strong victory because that's one of our primary concerns right now. What's going to happen when these tax cuts expire? What's going to happen to taxes? I'll tell you what, that is the number one concern on retirees' mind right now. It's not the markets, not interest rates, Trump or Biden. It's what are taxes going to do to retirees?
Now, why? Because that they reduced. The big cut was the corporate tax cut rate. The income taxes for people came down a little bit. What were the benefits to retirees in that tax cut bill?
Well, we went from a scenario where 50%, in excess of 50% of the people were retirees were itemizing. Now only about 4 to 6% are itemizing because the standard deduction went so high. They're looking at that phasing its way back. They're looking at the tax brackets decreasing. In other words, the numbers going down. Mm-hmm. You'll get into the higher bracket quicker. And then, of course, the tax rates, every single one of them except for the 10% bracket, went down. They're thinking of those going back up again with the retiring of the 2017 tax cuts. But if that were to take place and those, Trump tax codes were to get extended for a few more years, it would be a really good thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we'll be following. Great insight, great perspective, as always, with our friend Mark Falter, Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group. His show airing tomorrow morning and then again on Sunday at 9 a.m. here on 95.7 FM KCMO. Mark, hope you had a great 4th of July and Independence Day, and We appreciate you being here on KCMO.
Hey, thanks.
All right. Well done there by Mark Falter.